And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. It's natural to get upset or angry sometimes. We're highlighting 3 cases tonight. The first, Long Island, New York. Roberto Velasquez has pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter after admitting to killing a man with a machete in a laundromat after an argument. The second, 60-year-old Charles Calvert, is currently locked up for stabbing his girlfriend to death after an argument over cutting onions. And finally, in Las Vegas, video from the Daily Mail shows convicted felon David Langham attacking an inmate. Joining us to talk about it, Judge Mike Fields and trauma therapist Chow Nguyen. When we think about rage and anger and how it's so uncontrollable, is this something new, or we're seeing it more on social media, Chow?
Well, we're seeing it on media, but what is the common denominator of those 3 stories you just shared, Isaiah? All men. Men commit violent crimes in bigger proportions than women, and there are myriad of reasons for that. Of course, we've got media desensitization, we've got the concept of masculinity, and men are about power and dominance and aggression, as if it's okay. So then when a man snaps, and we don't know, you know, it's anger, it's rage, it's all these negative emotions, but there's a certain power and dominance that's associated with rage that we cannot overlook. And that's what you're looking at. Men committing acts of violence and rage since the beginning of time, right? And we haven't really addressed that as a society. Are we looking at toxic masculinity? Are we teaching our boys to be respectful to everyone, including women, including their friends?
And Judge, you sit on a bench and you have seen individuals come before you for violent crimes. Yes. And Child, no offense here, but it's more than just men, it's men and women. Right. And we see, yes, and I understand, but you also see women who just are out of control now on social media. As a result, that eye, that camera, that amplifies us and the anger that we see. But like you said, more so men, but it's out there for everyone.
It is out there for everyone, and you know, we started with the world star thing, and now everyone is acting like they're living in a social media landscape, and the rage is out of control. But I agree with you. I think we see more men engaging in crazy over-the-top rage. Who would think that 2 apparently homeless men would get in a fight over a duffel bag and one ends up getting hit with a machete? Who carries a machete? Right. Getting stabbed over onions. They didn't find any onions, but they did. And you
laugh at it, but you laugh at it because it's so sad.
It's insane. It's insane to think that someone would murder someone over chopping onions, but to think that a man would do that to a person he's supposed to love, supposed to care for, because he got upset over anything is insane. That goes beyond rage to some sort of sociopathy or psychopathy, and that's a sick individual.
How can we? Go ahead, Chow.
It's just a lack of self-control. It's a deranged lack of self-control, desensitized by the exposure of things we see in media and social media.
But the average person, you know, they're logical. They think about stuff. Right. They're intentional. How do you lose all of that? Well, just because of one incident?
They are doing research on aggression. There are aggression researchers now linking aggression to things like, is it like an addiction? Think about addiction. Addiction, you feel really bad when you take that drink, but you want more. So there are negative feelings around rage, but there are also positive feelings like dominance and control. So somebody wronged you, I'm going to get them back. There is a certain adrenaline rush associated with that dominance and that power and control.
Because if you try to calm someone down who's in that moment of rage, they don't hear you. Yeah. They don't see you. No. They're focused on whatever their target may be.
Rage isn't rational. And we see it every day in traffic. We see it every day in stores, the malls. You know, there are the outliers who commit acts of mass murder and extreme violence. But then there's the everyday person who just won't let you into traffic, as if there's some other place for you to drive other than the freeway.
Right.
You know, I got followed by somebody in traffic. I had to call 911 last night. Somebody, yeah, it's crazy, right? Because people lose control of their faculty.
And really quick, Chow, for those who cannot control themselves, what would be your best piece of advice in the last 20 seconds we have here?
Get some help. There's counseling support. There are therapists in our community. Get some anger management classes. Learn about self-regulation and self-control of your emotions. That could save your life and somebody else's life.